Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
All right, TCP listeners, I have an incredible guest today, and that is actually Dr. Peter Goldman. Dr. Pete, how are you doing today?
What's up, buddy? I'm very happy to be on.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of our best shows. I don't know why. I'm just sensing this. Let's bring it. We'll bring it. All right. So here's how we start. We just share a little bit about you. Who are you and, the chiropractor that you are today? But I've been hearing like really good things about what you're doing to help chiropractors become better doctors. So why don't you share a little bit about yourself and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I'll say a couple of things. So first of all, as I kind of mentioned to you right before we went on, I'm born and raised in New York City. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I've lived in California for a while, but I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in a very naturally oriented family, meaning that like we didn't even have an MD, as odd as that sounds. My doctor was a chiropractor. So wow. I grew up in a family that my doctor was just a chiropractor. That's just what I thought a doctor was. And I was lucky enough to go to a chiropractor who had to have been one of the greatest chiropractors ever since 1895 till now. He was a real legend in New York City, practiced for like 45 years, and he inspired me to become a chiropractor. And he was my mentor. I learned pretty much everything I know from him. I just went to chiropractic school to get my degree. I feel like I didn't learn almost anything there except got my degree. No offense to Life East where I went, but anyway. One thing I'll say right off the bat, which is interesting about me and what I do is that I think, Doc, you're aware that, even chiropractors who understand what one might call the big idea and say things like, that they're a nervous system doctor and above, down, inside out, and the power that made the body heals the body. If you go to their office and you poke around their waiting room and you check with people why they're there, 99% of the people are there for neck and back pain. So obviously, you practice long enough. I mean, you practice for years and years, you're going to adjust enough people. You're going to get your miracles here and there, and people are going to, they're going to come, and their digestion's going to get better, and their immune system's going to get better, and their sinuses are going to clear up. I mean, of course it happens over time. But I can tell you that 85% of my patients on the entrance form, like, hey, this is why I showed up to see you, come to me for non-musculoskeletal stuff. And that's incredibly rare. My average patient is coming with a chief complaint of like a faulty liver, a faulty gallbladder, panic attacks, anxiety, depression, endometriosis, whatever. So that's my chief complaints that come into me. And all I use is my hands and a flat bench in 2 minutes. So you got to ask yourself, how is someone coming to you with a chief complaint of a liver disorder? And you're spending 2 minutes with them and just using your hands and a flat bench, but that's what I do. So because I've been doing this for so long, I've been doing it 20 plus years, I got to the point, and I'm still at that point, where people fly in to see me from all over the world. And I don't mean people who have occasion to be in San Francisco for something else and just decided to come see me. I mean people who have no reason whatsoever to come to San Francisco, but they're flying from Japan, Hawaii, New York, Chicago, England, Guam, Malaysia, whatever, to me to heal when they've tried chiropractic, acupuncture, homeopathy, naturopathy, medicine, and they're still sick. And they come with all these things. And don't get me wrong, even though 15% of my people come with musculoskeletal, I'd say, well, to put it, I don't know how to put it, I think we get better results with musculoskeletal than anyone. It's not even my specialty, but we have people flying in who were told they need disc surgery in their neck, and they'll show their MRIs to chiropractors, and chiropractors are like, we won't even touch this. This is not a chiropractic situation. And the chiropractor's like, you need neck surgery. And they come to me, and 5 days later, I'm doing rotary breaks on them, and they're all better. So about 2 years ago, or I don't know how long it's been, 2 and a little bit years ago, I said, I woke up one day and I said, I'm going to just teach this to all the chiropractors. And I opened an online school, and we have 550 chiropractors worldwide, on the way to tens of thousands. So that's the brief summary.
Man, we're totally off the script. I love this. Okay, how does this happen? Like, I know you've been in practice 20 years. Is this something you just stumbled onto? You're like, oh my God, like I'm doing this particular thing, this one, or like this system that you clearly it's a system because you're duplicating this and teaching other doctors. And then all of a sudden you're just noticing all these incredible results. I mean, you don't just flip a switch and just start teaching doctors. You must have gone through quite a process to get to the place where you can teach other people.
It's a great question. It's interesting. Really, I just thought this was what chiropractic was for since I was a kid. So
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't something that I kind of like discovered later. I just thought this was what chiropractic was. Now, D.D. Palmer, who's the first chiropractor, and no one knows more about chiropractic than D.D. Palmer. I mean, he freaking made the thing. He defined it. He created it. He said what it is. No one can say what it is but him. And D.D. Palmer, he wrote a book in 1910 called The Chiropractor's Adjuster. And in 1895, he established chiropractic. 15 years later, he wrote the book. And a lot of people don't know this. I mean, I read it cover to cover. It's about 1,000 pages. He called the book The Chiropractor's Adjuster. And a lot of people just think it means like adjuster, like I'm going to show you how to adjust, like move bones. It's got nothing to do with that. If you read the book, he said he called it The Chiropractor's Adjuster. He said because from 1895 to 1910, the profession got so scattered and away from what he said chiropractic was that he wrote it to adjust the minds of the chiropractors. That's why he wrote it. So why am I bringing him up? I'm bringing him up because if you look at his book, it has almost nothing to do with neck and back pain. I mean, D.D. Palmer is talking about like syphilis, diabetes, epilepsy, freaking VD, all this stuff. And like, oh, adjust this for this, adjust this for this, adjust this for this. So in fact, D.D. Palmer had a 55-page glossary in the book with about 500 diseases listed and what bone to adjust to fix them. So I come from that context. Like that's my context from day one of this is what chiropractic is capable of done properly. How the profession got to where it is in 2020, I don't know. I'm not an expert at the evolution of chiropractic getting like it is, but I, from the get-go, was studying with this master, and he was teaching me. And what a lot of people would find surprising, but it's true, is by the time I was in 8th quarter, I was a student. I was in 8th quarter. Half the faculty of Life College were my patients. That's unheard of because students don't adjust the teachers, so the doctors. But half the faculty and the most prominent faculty were all coming to me to get adjusted because the results were the results that they were.
That's amazing. So now you actually conduct live events. So is it like a 1-day, a 2-day live event that doctors come out and actually learn from you?
Great question. So what I do is when I made the Zone School, it's an online program. When people sign up for the Zone School, what happens is they sign up and they get immediate and lifetime access to foundational videos. And by the way, I have a good friend who's a really high-level Hollywood filmmaker. So my filmmaker is grossly overqualified to be making my stuff. So I have very good quality stuff just because he's my good buddy. Sometimes I'm like, dude, I'm embarrassed that you're making these damn videos of me talking about healing. You know, he's an amazing filmmaker. So we have very good quality videos. When someone joins, they get immediate and lifetime access to the foundation videos where I kind of explain how I do what I do. Then they get immediate and lifetime access to a 33-hour library of me doing like Q&As with my students, my members, old school members. And then they also get 8 weeks access to live. Every Sunday at 1:30 Pacific, I have a live webinar just for my students where I kind of like take questions and answer stuff. That's basically the foundation of the Zone School, but we have a lot of stuff. We have live events. We have event videos that we have available. We have an advanced program. Now, the way the live events work, to get to that, because that's what you were asking, when I first made the Zone School, I wasn't even going to do live events. It didn't even occur to me. I was going to do it all. And then I started teaching them, and they became like wildly popular. So actually, these days, I teach about one per month. I teach all over the world. Every month, I teach one. They're open to Zone School members and non-Zone School members alike. Any chiropractors, welcome. It's $7.95. It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I have Minnesota, February, Omaha, March, Dallas, April, Portland, May, and Oxford, England, June is like at the moment. So I do have those live events, and they're pretty amazing.
That's really cool. So how long? So when did you launch the Zone School? Like, how long has it
think it
been
was
now?
it's a little over 2 years ago. And we have, like I said, 550 DCs worldwide. And here's the cool part, Doc, which I'm really proud of, for lack of a better word, I'm really proud of, is I have docs in my school who are like, hey, Dr. Pete, I was a high level AK doctor. I wasn't like some loser. I was like kicking ass. I had like
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing. I was a very good AK doctor. And now that I've joined your Zone School, I spend 1/10 of the time with a patient and I get 10 times better healing results. I hear that
Wow.
over and over and over and over again from AK docs, SOT docs, upper cervical docs, network docs, et cetera, et cetera. And at the same time, I have some people like, hey, doc, man, I was ready to hang it up. I was ready to retire. I hated chiropractic, and I joined your school. And now I can't wait to go to work every day. So that's a cool one. And I just want to add one more to that list. Is then I get this sometimes too. I don't get this as much, but I do get it, and I really like it. It kind of like warms my heart, so to speak. I have guys say to me like this, hey, Dr. Pete, I was in practice 30 years, successfully. I wasn't complaining. I had a really good 30 years. I was a very good chiropractor, got great results, loved what I did. But, I was ready to kind of hang it up just because, it's been 30 years. I want to freaking walk on the beach or whatever. But now that I'm in your Zone School, I can't wait to go to work. I want to practice 20 more years. I've had some really successful old timers tell me that, and that's an honor, quite frankly.
Well, let's circle back to the script. So one of the things we love on the podcast is actually talking about affirmations, positive words, like quotes. So I already know what you're going to drop. I think I know what you're going to drop, and this is perfect actually segue into that. It's so what is so drop some words of affirmation or your quote on the docs.
Okay, well, I'll start with my main quote, and I'll go to the affirmations if I can.
Sure.
My main quote is results. Nothing means anything to me in the healing context besides results, because Doc, I'm sure anyone can give a good, if someone's well-spoken, if someone's blessed enough to be well-spoken and they're convincing and they're a magnetic person, they can talk about whatever they want and it can sound great. They can sell you on whatever. But at the end of the day, results are results. Mm-hmm. So, someone could be like, oh, I'm doing this technique or that technique, or this is my philosophy. It's like, hey, like, for example, I'm going to just come off that for a second to say that not too long ago, a woman came to me about 2 months ago. She was on the liver transplant list at Stanford Medical Center. I mean, she was on a liver transplant list. She came to me. That's her chief complaint, wants her liver to be healed.
Yeah.
Guess what? She ain't on the transplant list anymore. Her liver's fine. She's been examined by them. They took her off the transplant list. I have a copy of the letter that they told her. And again, I'm a chiropractor. I don't treat disease. I don't diagnose disease. I don't treat symptoms, but I know how to balance the body. So now, again, results. So anyone could be like, oh, I'm doing, this technique, or this is my philosophy. I mean, can you get someone off a liver transplant list? For me, that's as easy as fixing a stiff neck. So results. That's my quote. Because besides that, who cares? Now, in healing, of course. Now, when it comes to affirmations, my affirmation is oneness. That's my affirmation, because anyone in life, I don't care what they're doing, and I've done some pretty cool stuff. So, I've done some things that people might consider are cool, even outside of healing. I used to be a high-level fighter. I've fought in front of thousands of people. I fought on TV. But the point is this: no matter how accomplished anyone is, they could be, someone could be one day in their house like, wow, I have 20 million in the bank. I have $20 million in the bank. I'm highly successful. I'm famous. I have this. If they feel separate from life, they're going to feel alone and afraid and scared shit. I don't care who they are. So my affirmation is oneness. When you realize there's only one thing and you are that one thing, you'll feel happy and peaceful and confident. Because, and by the way, when I talk about oneness, Doc, it's not like me, Dr. Pete, has like brought the idea of oneness to the world. No matter where you go, you're going to hear the oneness message, but people somehow, it escapes them. For example, I think you'd agree with me that most people, when they look for the answers to reality, they look to theology or science. They might say, I like religion, so I'm going to look to religion, or I like science, so I'll look to science. Those are like very common sources for people. Well, if you look to religion, pretty much every religion says God is all present. It says it in all the Bibles. God is all present. God's everywhere. There's only God. There's no space or place that God isn't. So if God's everywhere, that implies oneness. So once you start saying like, well, I feel one with all these, there's no all these. There's only one thing, and you are that one thing. I mean, if you can realize that everything you're looking at is yourself, you're doing pretty good. So that's my affirmation. And by the way, just to throw it in there, science says all there is energy. There's only one energy. So everyone's talking about oneness, but people somehow miss that.
So what's the one, well, maybe, yeah, what's the one thing that drives you the most crazy or the most nuts about chiropractors?
Oh, it's easy. So easy. And I'm working on this. I have to be more tolerant. So I'm really working on this, and I've come a long way. I'm still working on it. This is the easiest could be. Thank you for the easiest question ever. See, Doc, as you can tell, I'm not like a neck and back pain doctor. Of course, if someone has neck and back pain, it's easy, but I'm just saying that's not, my main focus. However, let's just pretend there's some chiropractor out there. They only believe that chiropractic is for neck and back pain, and their whole practice is neck and back pain. Quite frankly, even though they do something that I don't do, I actually respect them because they do what they say. So I actually respect them. Now, on that note, the thing to answer your question is when I hear chiropractors, who go to DE and go to CalJam and get excited, and they're like, I'm a nervous system doctor. Above, down, inside out. I'm reading BJ's green books. Well, hey, man, I just stopped by your waiting room and I interviewed 20 people sitting there. They're all there for neck and back pain. So what are you talking about? So that's what it is. The complete incongruency between people talking shit about, being a nervous system doctor, and then everyone's there for neck and back pain. So I say to them, come to Zone School and I'll teach you how to do what you say you do.
So you don't believe we should just meet them where they're at?
Meaning?
Well, I hear this all the time is like, well, you need to meet people where they're at, which is neck and back pain, and then convert them, the mindset into nervous system.
Here's the good news. I didn't understand that, but now I do. Here's the answer. I'm down for whatever. Let's say someone comes to me, new patient. Hey, Dr. Pete, I just have a neck pain. I'm not interested in anything else. Please fix my neck. Fine, I'll fix your neck. Have a nice life. Come back if you need me. Someone else might come and they come for their neck, but then, like you said, we kind of explain the bigger picture to them, and then they understand wellness or whatever. You say, that's great too. Or let's say someone comes in with chief complaint for their liver. I'm down with that too. As it happens, I've built the kind of reputation that 85% of my patients on the entrance form are writing liver, gallbladder, pancreas, uterus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what percentage of patients or new patients that come to see you with a neck or low back problem or whatever, have a systemic challenge as well? Like they're checking those boxes anyways. They just don't know. They haven't made the connection. It's
an excellent point. And that's why the zone technique is freaking spectacular. I have a way in 25 seconds to feel the back of someone's head. And real quick, it's not SOT. For anyone out there who's like, hey, doesn't SOT feel the head? Yes, they do. Two different things. But I have a way in 20 seconds to feel the back of someone's head, and I will get a full analysis of their glandular system, eliminative system, nerve system, digestive system, muscular system, and circulatory system. So to answer your question, patient comes in, but 15% who come in with their neck or back. I'll feel the back. I'll go, yeah, neck or back, no problem. We're going to wrap that right up. By the way, I'm going to feel your head to see what's happening in your body. And I'm like, it appears that your digestion has been unbalanced for quite some time. And they're like, yeah, I have IBS. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? If you stick around with me, you're not going to have it for long. So they might be like, well, you know what? Just let's do the neck. Okay, fine, whatever. Or it might be like, oh, great. I'm so happy. We'll do that too. I'm not a proselytizer. I just, I'll help people with what they want to be helped with. Now, for the most part, people stick around and get their whole body healed.
Okay. So we have something that's actually really special for the listeners as well today. So can you explain that? And then I'm going to drop the link for them.
Yes. Okay. So as the doc mentioned, what we're going to do today is he's going to put a link to join Zone School. You can join Zone School right now. You can start learning right away. I already said the minute you click that link and you join Zone School, you get immediate access to the foundation videos, immediate access to the 33-hour library, both lifetime. By the way, the 33-hour library, that's what's going to make you a spectacular healer. You get 8 weeks access to Sundays with me live. And then, there's many other things the Zone School includes. here's the special thing. We have, as I mentioned, those live events. We film some of them and we sell them for $400 each, only for people in Zone School. Again, you can come to the live events whether you're in Zone School or not. But the live events recordings, which when you buy, you get lifetime access to, are only available for Zone School members. So if anyone joins today, which is by midnight tonight Pacific, I'm going to send you the LA video. I did a really, really good seminar in LA. I mean, really good. Anyone buy it and tell me if I'm wrong. I did a really good seminar in LA, and anyone who joins today before midnight Pacific, we're going to send the LA video to you for free, which you don't have to pay the extra $400 for. And by the way, Zone School is 100% money back guarantee. So if you join Zone School and you don't like it, you get a full refund. And I have 550 students, and I've given 9 refunds. So they don't happen too much.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. Okay, so listeners, it's actually I'm going to repeat, zonetechniquetraining.com/enroll with 2 L's. So here's the thing. I'll make it even super easy for you. So all listeners, head over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. We're going to have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Dr. Peter Goldman today. We're going to also have the resources he's provided, but also we'll give you this link to enroll. If you're on your mobile, just open your show notes and you'll see the link right there, and you can connect up and join the program right now. Okay, Doc. So I love this. I mean, we're kind of bouncing around on the script today. I love this. This is new stuff for me. But one thing that we love to do too is actually drop some really just like, I guess we could say it's like some special advice. So what we do is we put you in the TCP time machine. It's kind of cheesy, but we send you back to a younger version of yourself. And really this is the same person, but it's you just after you graduated from chiropractic college. So you meet this younger self. You have all the life experience you have today. What advice would you give that younger self?
Well, this is me giving myself advice. So this may or may not apply to other people. So I'm not, everyone has their own challenges. But the thing that I'd say 2 things to myself is, one is let it all hang out, meaning, say what you know and do what you got to do, and just do it in a slightly more tolerant way. Like I said before, sometimes when people or other chiropractors didn't quite kind of get what I thought they should get, I'd be like bewildered. How could they not understand this? And probably made my demeanor not as friendly with them. But I think I just, be a little more compassionate, give everyone a little break.
So I get it, because I don't know, but so I used to be very reactive. So now, like even yesterday, I was triggered by something and I'm like, nope, took a breath, respond intelligently. And I found that actually works a lot better. Is that kind of what you're saying here with the advice is like to yourself?
A little slight, that's the theme, a little different. I've never been one who's had a temper. I just don't. I don't have a temper. I don't want to say calm because I have a lot of energy, but I'm pretty, people don't upset me where I lose my temper pretty much ever. Really. I mean, literally ever. I never lose my temper. Not because I'm holding it. I just don't have a temper. So it's not so much that where I would become reactive or triggered. It's more just even in a calm conversation where a chiropractor kind of doesn't understand the bigger picture. And I'm just like, I can't understand how they can't understand. And, and maybe I wasn't as friendly in my interaction with them, and I just be a little more compassionate and realize everyone's where they're at and, do my best.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. So last thing we love to talk about is really just dropping some resources. So it could be a book you're reading, an app they have to check out, something you're listening to, a person you follow. What would the best resource that a doc should go out and actually, other than your training, go out and check out right now?
Okay. Well, as far as books, I'll just mention, if someone wants to, Google this or whatever. So Koichi, 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 Tohei, Tohei, was one. He was a renowned Aikido master, and I don't want to morph this conversation into a martial arts conversation. Most Aikido is, listen, if you're doing Aikido and you're having a good time, good for you. not a practical self-defense for 99% of people, but I'm sure it's fun and gets you in great shape. However, that's Aikikaya Keto, which kind of like came from the founder, O-Sensei. Koichi Tohei was an Aikido master. He's the only 10th degree black belt ever given out by O-Sensei, the founder of Aikido. But he branched off from Aikido, and he made what's called Ki Aikido. And again, I don't want to do a 10-minute speech on this, but all I can say is he wrote several books, which I find incredibly helpful. I don't care if you don't do Aikido. I don't care if you don't do martial arts. But Ki is the Japanese word for energy, and I have learned a lot of amazing things from him, even though he's deceased. And I read as much of his stuff as I can, and I love that guy. So I think anyone would benefit from delving into Koichi Tohei. And I've done some demonstrations on my various, Instagram or social media, where I'll just show it's not, it's not like to entertain people like a vaudeville act or something. It's to show the principles. Like we have a thing that's like an unbendable arm, where I'll put my arm straight, and obviously if someone really strong takes both their arms, 2 against 4, they're going to bend my arm. But I take care of a lot of the Oakland Raiders, and like I'll have these guys who are like 6'6", 281 pounds. I'm like, can you bend my arm? Like, they can't bend it. Or we have a thing called, because that's using Ki properly. Again, that's not the final thing, but it's just something that kind of like feel Ki working in your body, for lack of a better way to express it. And it applies to a ton of stuff in your life. And we have a thing I've done on the my social media called Unliftable Body, where I'll have someone just lift me up. I mean, I weigh 210 pounds, but still like someone who can lift 210, lift me up. And then, but then I'll just change one thing in my mind and I become unliftable. I've filmed it. So these are things, again, we're not doing it to, show tricks or whatever, but if you understand the principles of Ki, it just helps you as a healer and in life. So that's my answer. Koichi Tohei all the way.
I love it. I can tell you, out of 360 episodes, no one has dropped those books or that author. That's a good one. Perfect. All right. So everyone, actually, again, you can head over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. We're going to have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Dr. Peter Goldman today. Check out the Zone. Wait, not the, but I keep wanting to say the Zone. Check out Zone School of Healing. And Doc, I got to thank you. I love the energy you bring to the podcast today. I love when people bring it. Thank you. Thanks for giving back today.
I appreciate it. It's 100% my pleasure. I had a really good time. I appreciate it. And at the end of the day, putting everything else aside, if someone watches this and they're benefited in any way, shape, or form, fantastic. Maybe they'll buy a Tohei book. Who knows? Or maybe we said something. And B, if someone, joins Zone School of Healing and their life and practice changes, good for everyone. So fantastic.
Thank you.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Chiropractic Philanthropist.